Hello everyone and welcome to by far the most important video of this year. With changing regulation, increased competition and AI integration along with salary concern, the one question that arises is clinical research still worth in India and especially in 2026? In this video, I'll break down the ground reality, growth, salary, opportunity and risk so that you can make right career decision. And if you're serious about building a career in clinical research, make sure you hit that subscribe button as we are close to 10,000 subscribers. Also, consider becoming a channel member to support our mission for guiding clinical research professionals for the future. Without further ado, let's start. So first and foremost, let us analyze the India's clinical research market. Okay, so the Indian clinical research market is anywhere around 2.8 billion. Okay, and that is as per 2026. And in India, we have more than 1200 CROs, okay, that are based in tier 1 and tier 2 city. And in terms of clinical trials conducted across the world, we are third in the world. Okay, so India has a lot of clinical trials across the world. Okay, and to run this particular industry in India, okay, the third largest clinical research destination in the world, you need around more than 85,000 professionals. Okay, so currently there are more than 85,000 professionals which are employed in clinical research. Okay, so that is a big number, and India is growing. Okay, this particular growth of the Indian economy along with requirement of skilled clinical research professional makes India the most desirable destination for clinical research, and it also makes one of the most lucrative fields for pharmacy, life sciences and medical graduates. Okay, because the number of vacancies are higher, and as they require skilled professional, you have a place which can give you higher returns on your educational investment. Okay, so India's clinical research market is very promising. Okay, and that is the reality. Now, since the job market is promising, okay, since the industry is growing, now we have to understand that which are the particular roles that are required in higher demand and especially in 2026. Now, as you can see here, it is the list of the roles which are in higher demand or in moderate demand. Okay, so whenever you want to become a clinical research professional, you have to target this particular role. Okay, so the CRA role, it is in higher demand and it will be in higher demand. Okay, it has shown a growth of 24% year on year. Okay, and here the salary range is anywhere around 4 lakh to 12 lakh depending upon your knowledge and your experience. Okay, if you want to go for CRA role, we have a specified program, okay, to train you as a CRA, and you can check link in the description. Okay, so make sure you grab the opportunities, grab the right skill set so that you can grow. The next field is the regulatory affairs specialist. Here again the demand is high and the growth is around 19%, followed by the clinical data manager. Okay, so this is a higher level position, and you have to first work as a clinical data specialist 1, data specialist 2, and then you go on to become data manager. Okay, again the salary is high, the demand is high, but you need to understand, you need to give some time to this particular role. The next role which is in higher demand is medical writer. Okay, again that has grown in terms of salary also and in terms of percentage also. Next thing is pharmacovigilance analyst. Okay, again this is a very high demand particular job role. Okay, so if you want to become a pharmacovigilance analyst, if you want to pursue this particular career, I would recommend that you check out our pharmacovigilance certification, advanced certification. It will give you a clear understanding of pharmacovigilance, what is it, what is the process, what is ICSR and everything. Again link given in the description. This is again the most higher demand courses which has demand of 31%. Okay, it is very significant. So if you are a pharma graduate, biotech, life sciences, go for this particular position if you want to work in a healthcare IT type situation. And next thing is the site PI or principal investigator. It is a moderate amount of role and the salary is also quite high. Also, this particular position requires you to have an understanding of clinical research. Again, we have made a course explaining clinical research, data management and pharmacovigilance. I'll give link in the description, you can check it out. My point is that if you want to apply for clinical research position which are in higher demand, make sure you have a clear understanding first, because without it you're shooting yourself in the foot. Okay, so make sure that you understand which are the position you need to target, make sure you get the skill set for that position, and then it makes sense for you to apply for that position and get that particular job opportunity. Okay, so these were the key job roles which are in higher demand in 2026. Are you from pharma, biotech, or life sciences and still struggling to enter clinical research industry? You are not alone. Thousands of graduates miss high-paying roles not because they lack talent, but because they lack the right skill set. Imagine fast-tracking your career into one of the highest growth, highest demand global industry with the certification that are trusted by thousands of learners across the world. First, we have Advanced Certification in Clinical Research (CDM) and PV, your all-in-one gateway to the top three domains of the industry. Followed by Advanced Certification in Clinical Data Management, where you master CRFs, DMPs, and clinical data basics and become job ready for CDM role. Next, we have Advanced Certification in Pharmacovigilance and Drug Safety, where you break into PV, understand real world case processing, and safety reporting skills. Next, we have Advanced Clinical Research Associate Training Program, where you become site ready and industry ready and become the CRAs that the companies want. Followed by Cancer Clinical Research and Oncology Trials, where you enter into the most advanced and impactful field of oncology research. And last but not the least, Clinical Research Career Guide, where you crack the interviews, build your perfect CV, and land your first dream job. The future belongs to the skilled professionals, and if you're ready to transform your career, this is your moment. Click on the links given in the description and explore the amazing programs and start your journey into clinical research today. Now, let us understand the reality, the salary reality in 2026. Okay, so as you can see here, the first insight would be the CRO versus pharma conundrum. Okay, obviously the pharma company has bigger budget and they hire CROs, therefore pharma company would definitely pay 30 to 45% more than CROs. Okay, so but the caveat here is that pharma company only hire experienced professional. Okay, they don't have time to train each and one of them. So the starting route is from the CROs to the pharma, but if you get the pharma opportunity, then your salary can boost up to 30 to 45%. Second is the remote premium. Okay, now the world is shifting towards the remote opportunity. Okay, and the companies or CROs based in US, Europe, they require more remote roles. Okay, which are 2 to 3 times more than the domestic equivalent. Okay, and there also you have opportunity. So not only in Indian market, but also the requirement for US and EU market is higher. Okay, so remote role are also growing. Next thing is the fresher gap. Okay, so here you can see the salary of the fresher is quite low, 2.5 to 4 lakhs per annum. Okay, and that when considered against the inflation uh, gets even lower. But you need to understand that whenever it comes to clinical research, the salary goes on increasing exponentially. As you can see here, a fresher might get 3 lakhs per annum, but within 2 years, it can jump to 6 lakh. Okay, again within 2 3 years, 10 lakhs. If you see from 3 lakhs to 10 lakhs, that is 2.5% fold. That is within the span of 5 years, which is not in the other field. Okay, so initially the fresher salary is low, but if you give this particular field more than 2 years, then definitely the salary doubles up. Okay, and I personally have witnessed that particular growth. Okay, but to do that, I'll again reiterate, you need to have the skills, the understanding, and you need to pursue some kind of certification which can give your skill set the bona fide. Okay, to present your recruiter. Now, this is a high paced, high growth industry, but there are also significant challenges that you need to know before entering this particular field. Okay, one of the challenges, high travel burden. If you opt for a CRA type role, it requires you to travel 60 to 80%. Okay, and personally I am a senior CRA and I know that there are severe burnout. Okay, around 60 to 80% people leave the CRA job after 2 years. Okay, and this is the highest burnout rate among all of the industry, because the kind of travel, the kind of burden you have, that everyone cannot sustain. Second thing is the regulatory uncertainty. Okay, there are frequent changes in the CDSCO guidelines, so you need to update yourself. And if you're not updating, if your knowledge is stagnant, then it will have an impact on your anxiety, the delay in the project. Okay, so that is again one of the challenge. The third is the saturation at entry level. Okay, so there are many positions for CRAs, but the salary at the entry level does not increase. Okay, and also a lot of people compete for lower position. Okay, so for example, there are position of 2000 CRAs and 10,000 people apply. Definitely 2000 is a higher number, but 10,000 people without the right skill set, without the right attitude, without the knowledge of the CRA position will definitely fail. Okay, I am not contesting against this particular insight, but what I'm saying is that until and unless you are aware of the CRA role, you have prepared for it, you cannot get that particular role. Okay, so I would request, if you want to target CRA role, check out our certification. You can understand, okay, that is an affordable certification which will clearly give you an insight, and whenever you go for the interview, you are in a better driving position to tackle any kind of question. Next thing is the slow salary growth. Okay, I would agree that between 2 to 5 years the salary hike are quite low, which is as low as 8% to 12%, and which is below the IT sector. But you need to understand that whenever it comes to IT sector, the salaries are always high, which beats each and every sector. Okay, that is highly technical, highly creative field. Okay, but in clinical research, it is not that kind of growth. Okay, but still the growth is comparative to the IT sector because of the requirement of pharma industry, of the requirement of drug development, which is moving at a faster pace, and you want to be a part of a industry which is moving at a faster pace, because that will clearly dominate your career moving forward. Okay, the next is the skill gap crisis. As I've clearly mentioned, that not your degree is not compatible anymore. Okay, your knowledge in your degree is the base of it, but if you want that particular role, you have to upskill. Okay, and for to solve this particular skill gap crisis, we have created affordable certification which you can check it out. But make sure you have a clear understanding of EDC systems, SaaS tools, AI tools. Okay, most programs do not teach you that particular thing. If you want to go for it, then definitely check out the link in the description and you can fill out your skill gap. Last is the ethical pressure. Then definitely a clinical research industry or drug development industry will have the ethical concern, and it is up to you as a clinical research professional to uphold the ethics, because when it comes to drug development, when it comes to healthcare and medicine industry, nothing matters more than the ethics, the patient safety. Okay, so you cannot compromise that. Just because someone is paying you more to complete the work in a shorter amount of time, you cannot take shortcuts for public safety and clinical ethics. Okay, so these are the challenges, yeah, that you need to know before you enter this particular clinical research industry. Now you need to understand which are the areas, okay, which is going to give you the most higher growth, and where are the opportunities. Okay, so as you can see here in this particular pie chart, you have higher number of opportunity in the field of data management, in the field of pharmacovigilance. Again, you have regulatory opportunities higher. Okay, again, post COVID you have higher opportunities, decentralized clinical trial, which will give you the decentralized model and remote monitoring. Okay, so you don't need to travel that much. So just pause here, analyze which are the opportunity and where your skills match. Okay, make sure first you work on your skill set, and then and only then add to your CV and go for this opportunity. If you go to this particular opportunity, for example, as you can see here, the remote CRA opportunities are increasing and almost 40% of the monitoring has shifted to remote. But if you don't understand what a CRA does, then how can you get this opportunity? Okay, so focus on the high growth areas, but make sure your skill and your opportunities align towards it. Okay, so that is regarding the opportunities and high growth areas in clinical research. Now you need to understand that clearly, to grab this opportunity, there is a gap between education and certification. Okay, education is the basic you have, certification is the shift or the adaptation you do to enter in that particular industry. Okay, for example, for clinical research you need to have your B Pharm, M Pharm, MBBS, MSc, but whenever you have to enter clinical research field, you need to do this advanced certification clinical research or GCP certification. Okay, we have prepared this certification for you. Okay, with all the updated information, industry level insight, I have given link in the description. You can check them out. They are very, very affordable and they are made to help you. Okay, so make sure you do that. Once your foundation is solid with your degree and your certification, then you go for the upskilling. Okay, you need to have an understanding of the EDC tools. Again, if you want to go to clinical statistics, then go for SAS. Again, if you want to go for regulatory affairs, you need to understand ECTD, CDSCO guidelines, US FDA guidelines. Okay, then you need to target the entry level role. Okay, you can target the junior CRA, PV associate role. The salary where would be 3 to 4.5 lakhs per annum, and you target the top 10 CROs. Okay, again, we have made videos of top 20 CROs in the world. You can target the top 10 also. Okay, make sure you watch that particular video. I'll again put a card here where you can check it out. Then you need to understand the growth pattern. Okay, again, from a junior CRA you can become a senior CRA and get the salary which is around uh, 8 to 15 lakhs per annum, depending upon your performance and understanding. Okay, I can definitely say that senior CRA gets way more than 15 lakhs per annum, but this is the industry average that I've negotiated here. Okay, again, if you want to go for further opportunity for project management, then you can check out the other certification, PMP. Okay, then if you want to become an expert in this field, you can go right up to the vice president level, director level. You can also become an independent consultant, and there your salary is anywhere around 20 to 45 lakhs per annum, and this is the industry average. If you are good, I have seen even people with 90 to 1 CR package. Okay, again, here you can move up to global sponsors, AstraZeneca, okay, Sanofi. You can even work with CROs remotely. Okay, so this is the essentially a roadmap, okay, for your clinical research career. So make sure you pause this video, understand each and everything. If you want to build out your foundation solid, I have given link in the description. You can check this particular courses and you can move forward your career. Okay, until and unless you are going to work hard on your career, no one is going to help you. So make sure you check out the link in the description and you fill your foundation so that you can grab those opportunities. Now, you need to understand that as compared to the global clinical research landscape, where does India stand? Okay, so globally, we have clinical trial which costs around 300 to 500 crore, but in India, you can complete the same in 50 to 80 crore. Okay, which gives India the higher advantage and which attracts the global sponsor. Okay, again, in the world, there is slower fragmentation in patient enrollment. In India, we have faster patient enrollment. Regulatory timelines is a concern for India, where the global average is quite low, followed by the infrastructure which is quite good in the global countries, okay, in the developed countries, but India is a development country, so we are improving rapidly, but still it is time and still we can grow up to that level. Again, when it comes to average CRA salary, it is quite higher in the global region. Okay, but when it comes to India, it is quite average. But you need to understand that if you are an average person, you will get average salary. But if you work hard on your skill set, complete the CRA training program, then definitely you can grab the higher benchmarks. Okay, again, the world is at 7% year on year growth, but India is growing very fast. India is growing more than 2 times the global average. This is the opportunity that you need to grab. Okay, the clinical research landscape in India is tremendous. Okay, you need to focus. So again, across the world they are focusing on CNS, immunology and rare diseases, but India, we have higher patient group of oncology, tuberculosis, diabetes, and these are high ticket trials. Okay, so make sure that whenever you skill yourself, you also understand oncology, TB, and diabetes. Okay, for people who want to go into oncology based clinical research, we have prepared our oncology training program. You can check it out. It covers all the basics of oncology which is required for clinical research industry. Okay, again, that is an affordable course. Definitely it will help you out. Okay, so this is the Indian landscape across the global clinical research landscape. So as compared to the global countries, rest of the US and Europe, India looks very, very promising. India has higher growth, and this is what you should target around. Okay, so make sure that you are very optimistic about India and you work on yourself so that you can grab the opportunity which is going to come towards your way. So what is the verdict? Okay, so is clinical research career worth it? So there are again positives and negatives. Okay, so I'll list down. So essentially, we'll first talk about the negatives. So clinical research is not for you if you expect quick financial return within 1 to 2 years, because you have to give some amount of time to your industry. But if you want higher returns in less than 2 years, then clinical research is not for you. If you are uncomfortable with high travel, odd hours, again, this industry does not help. If you are not willing to invest in certification, in upskilling, then this is not your industry, because clinical research goes on evolving each and every 6 months. Okay, for example, we have E6R3 amendment recently. If you're not aware about E6R3, then definitely you would not understand what is the impact of E6R3 on industry. Again, if you want to understand or learn E6R3, I say GCP, we have prepared a certification. Please go and check it out. It will definitely help you. Okay. Again, if you are looking for creative role, clinical research is fairly technical. Clinical research is not level to the IT pay, as well as the documentation is quite heavy, because clinical research is highly regulated industry. But let me tell you that clinical research is a very strong and positive field. And the positives are that we are having direct impact on science and patient welfare. We get to travel a lot in lot of dynamic environment. You get to see a lot of impact directly on the patient health. Okay. Again, if you are willing to upskill in PV, CDM, CR domain, then definitely it opens a lot of opportunity for you. Followed by the global pharma industry, and the long term roles are quite higher. They pay a lot of money to you, provided you give time to this particular industry. Okay. Again, you have to be patient. You have to invest 3 to 5 years, and then the growth is quite exponential. And I can say from my decade long experience in clinical research, every 2.5 years on an average, my salary has doubled. Okay. But around this particular decade, I can say that I have invested 10 years, therefore that is my salary. Okay. And that is quite above industry average. So if you are someone who is patient, who is skilled, and who loves to have impact about science, healthcare, and patient welfare, then this is the industry for you. Again, if you are a science graduate looking for entering in a high growth field with strong attention to detail, clinical research is the place for you. I would rate clinical research industry overall 4 out of 5. Okay, because it is a rewarding long term career with patience, right certification, and upskilling mindset. You will become successful in clinical research. Okay. Now you need to map down what you're going to do in clinical research. So the first step is get certified. Okay, we have listed down certification. You can go for it. Go for GCP certification, CRA certification, and basic clinical research certification. Again, if you want to enter clinical data management, go for CDM certification and understand how Medidata Oracle works, or how SAS works, or what is CTMS platform. Again, I would request you to network. Okay, we have a clinical research community on LinkedIn also, Indians in Clinical Research. You can check that particular out. Again, I want you to target wisely. Okay, we have made a video for top 20 CROs in the world. You need to shortlist those CROs, for example, like IQVIA, Syneos, PRA. Again, the Indian pharma companies which have clinical research division, and apply to them. That is targeted application, okay, which improves your chances of success. Last but not the least, you need to stay updated with CDSCO, USFDA, and EMA guidelines. Okay, your update on the regulatory aspect is your edge in your interview. If you follow all these steps, then definitely clinical research is one of the best careers that you can have. And especially in 2026, with remote opportunities, with evolved guidelines of the industry, this is one of the most amazing field that you can pursue. Okay. So thank you for watching this video till the end. Please make sure that you subscribe to our channel. We are nearing 10,000 subscriber, and make sure you join our membership and support this channel.